My name is Billu Savant. I am from Gurgaon, and to your question, that three candidates, Prime Minister candidate, I think there are only two candidates right now. I do not consider Arvind Kejriwal as a Prime Minister candidate. With due apologies to you. My choice is Narendra Modi. I'm not for BJP, I'm not for Congress, I'm not for any of these political parties. Why it has become important that suddenly people have risen aware of the party politics. People who are voting for Modi, they're not voting for BJP. They're voting for Modi. And Modi has proven track record as an administrator, as a uh, person who's above corruption. How many people can you talk in politics today who are not corrupt? A ordinary councillor, a ordinary MLA, leave apart the minister. uh, Show me one relative of his who is not in riches, who doesn't have plenty of cars or property or everything. Here's the Prime Minister candidate who has three, four brothers whom you can see in Gujarat, you can see his mother, you can see his house in Gujarat. That is, despite the fact that he's been the Prime Minister of, Chief Minister of Gujarat for the last 12 years. Now, coming to my final point, why I do this, that this no politician in the post-independent history has been prosecuted, has been hunted by the media, by the politicians, and also with due apologies by the government agencies like CBI, CAG, and even SITs. The in last 12 years, they have not been able to prove that Modi was responsible for Gujarat riots. Let's assume for a minute that he had the moral responsibility. The moral responsibility he accepts. He said whatever happened was not correct. But if you want him to apologize, that's a tricky question, because the minute he apologizes, all the media will say, see, he is guilty. The fact of the matter is that people forget that it happened on 27th of February, 28th was the last day of the month, and third day, which was 1st of March, he had called the army within 72 hours. People say 5 days because they forget that it was month of only 28 days. And the whatever little bit of vision I've seen, what he talks, at least he's honest about it. And this country, at the juncture we are in, I don't want to comment anything on the Gandhi family or on the Congress, but the only ray of hope where ordinary people see, uh, in terms of making their life better, in making this country a little more secure, and from the long-term perspective, restoring some of the prestige in the people in the countries around the world, and especially in our own neighborhood. I'm sure that all the Bangladesh, Pakistan, they are Muslim countries, but once Modi comes to power, the relationship with them would be much better, because unfortunately we have had a very, very weak government, which is, I don't want to go into the Jayant Barwa's book of incidental prime minister and all Colgate and everything, because that sounds like a cliche. He talks about three things. One is education. One, he talks about development of poor people. If we have to bridge in this divide between the communal communities, the basic parameter of doing that will be development. Once the Muslims are developed as well as the other section of the society, I'm sure the persecution complex from which they suffer will go away. And like Modi, one of his best this thing I like in his last interview was when he was asked that why didn't he wear a skull cap? He said, did Nehru wear a skull cap? Did Gandhi wear a skull cap? Did Sardar Patel wear a skull cap? Did it make them any less nationalist? And the fact is that he talks about, when he talks about Muslims, he says in one hand they should have Quran, in one hand they should have computer. Even if it is for gallery's sake or something, even if it means 10% of what he's saying, I think we'll be far better as a country. And lastly, restoring the prestige and autonomy of the government statutory bodies like armed forces, Comptroller of Auditor General, CBI, Intelligence Bureau, Judiciary, Election Commission. These are the bodies which are created by the government of India, and our own government, present day government, ridicules them. They don't accept their findings and everything, which is another important thing which he would, I'm sure, do it. That's all. Thank you.